I was in a pool as a kid going further and further. And I couldn't swim, but I kept pressing the limits and I kept going further into the deep end until finally I was in the deep end where everyone else was, because I just wanted to be with the bigger kids and I wanted to play and do the things they were doing. And so I got to the deep end and I went under. And I couldn't swim, so I went to the bottom and I pushed myself up from the bottom to the surface so I could take a breath of air. And I kept doing that over and over. The water was going in my lungs. The water was drowning me in the moment. But I kept pressing. I kept hitting the bottom and I kept pressing back forward through the surface to take a breath of air. And as you're going through life, as you're going through your struggles, sometimes you have to go to the bottom and you have to use everything inside of you to press off the bottom to the surface to take a breath of air. Take that breath and then keep doing it. Because at some point in time, somebody's going to come help you along the way. At some point in time, you're going to break through that surface and be able to have that breath. At some point in time, something's going to happen to change the situation, because I did not drown that day in the pool. I just kept going until help came along. I just kept going until I got out that water. I just kept going and I didn't stop there. At that point, I knew I had to learn how to swim. So I got back in that water and I learned how to swim. I said, I will not drown again. I might have been in that situation once, but I won't do it a second time. And so after you get out of a situation, you have to learn something from it. You have to grow from it, because you can't find yourself in the same situation over and over. At a point in time, some people didn't believe. When I was divorced, I didn't know if I was meant for love. I didn't know if I was meant to be a husband. I didn't know if I was meant to have a family. When I was broke, I didn't know if I was supposed to have financial stability and security in my future. But I kept going and I kept getting better along the way. When I was getting beat down spiritually, when I didn't know where the attack was coming from or why they were coming in all the different directions, I stayed committed, because I knew that at some point something was going to change, as long as I continued to give everything in me to survive. Some of you are sitting there right now, you don't know which way to go. But I can tell you that if you just get to a point where you're unrelenting, if you get to a point where you know that you need to get to the surface and you use everything that you got in you to get there, God is going to bless you on the other side. But you have to keep going and you can't quit. So I need y'all to write it down. I need you to go through a little bit of a process and just say, okay, well, what is important to you and why is it important to you? Because if you're doing things and you don't have a reason, if you're doing things and you can be motivated by whatever motivates you. Even David went through a point where he asked the question, what does the victor gain for the one who slays Goliath? He asked the question a couple of times. And they told him what he would gain. They told him that his family would never have to pay taxes again. They told him that he will become wealthy. They told him these things. So David had external motivation. So don't let anybody tell you that you can't have your own motivations for the things that you want to accomplish. You just need to be clear about what that is. And it has to be large enough to get you to move. It has to be large enough to get you to keep going when things are difficult, when things are tough, when it feels like the pressure of life is overcoming you, when it feels like you're overwhelmed. It has to be large enough to pull you along the way. And this one lesson of drowning as a kid in a pool, there are so many things to take from that. There were so many people that watched me. There were over 100 people at that pool, y'all. There were over 100 people at that community pool. And nobody saw me drowning. The lifeguard who was on duty, whose job was to watch for people who were drowning, did not see me drowning. The only reason why I got out of that water finally is because my mama saw me, got me out that water. There are people around y'all. There are people in your life that ain't doing nothing to help y'all. You got to suck up the reality that they're just going to watch you through your struggles. They're going to watch you as you go through the things you're going through now. And those are the people that you don't need in your life. So sometimes you got to say bye-bye. I'll see you later, because you ain't doing nothing for me. Let me tell you, there have been times where I've been at my lowest in life and all my friends wanted to do was just hang out, go party, go have something to drink, go kick it, not remember the night. And I'm like, look, that stuff is temporary and it don't get me any closer to my future. It don't get me any closer to my dreams or to my goals. And so I had to get to a point where I had to say, you know what? I'm good, y'all. Y'all have a great time. I'll catch you another time. Or I'll see you at the gym. Or I'll see you at work. It doesn't mean I don't love y'all, but I just can't be doing the same things that y'all are out there doing because it ain't helping me any. That's an example of you watching me struggle and drown. I'm barely getting through with my own physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional stability. And you want me to go out and party. You want me to go out and kick it. You want me to go out and kill some more brain cells when I'm barely making it in class alone as it is. Like, that ain't okay. And so a part of my story to success, a part of my story to purpose has been saying bye to the ones that are not helping that situation. Because if you're in that pool and you're drowning and you got people that are watching you that aren't helping you get out that situation that you're in, it's time to move on. So what are you committed to and why? Let's write that down because all 2025, we're going to have no distractions and we're going to get after it. Let's go.